Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm mikeymushi from Tunacheki.
I'm Zelalem from Zelalem. Welcome.
Thank you for joining us to the weekly Africa podcast show, where we talk about the happenings, the things that happened in Africa this week, and discuss, based on our personal opinions, what we think about it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so quick announcements. Thank you everybody for sharing our recent new show where we launched. It's called Africa Reacted. We started it last week, and even today, one girl will react on a video, and we'll see what she has to say about it. Okay, so we'll do the reaction on the second story, so we give people time to catch up and know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
So you can start us off.
Yeah, first I want to say morning. I guess people are watching from a different time zone. For us, it's almost nighttime. So hi Black Child, hi Rodney, hi Oladele, and Okafor. Just wanted to say hey. So I want to start us off. Last time you said you like to start it with a bang, so we can start. We can start from Chad. Is that okay with you? Okay.
Yes.
So we can start from Chadians. Actually, the youth, most of them were university students, about like hundreds of them went out to protest, and their slogan was France get out. So just to update you what exactly they said, like this is an article from African News, and protesters opposing France's military presence in the country, and the ones that support transitional president Mohamed Idris, who has been in power since his father's death 2021, if you remember, the guy that went to, it was actually even his death for me, I don't know, I'll ask you, this is not the story, but we'll talk about his death, because he's like, he went to the front line to fight and then he died, like, I don't know. Okay, we'll talk about that. That's not what we're here to talk about. So basically the youth of Chad came together and they protested France, and they were saying that France only wants us for what Chad can bring, like our soil, our land, and what they are benefiting from us. They really don't care about us, so we no longer want them to be here. And as I said, they were saying, quote, France get out. That was actually their slogan. So what are your thoughts on that?
So for me, I'm loving this new trend across West Africa and Francophone countries. It started with Mali, it went to Burkina Faso, now Chad. So I'd want it to continue, Ivory Coast, Guinea, and just like slowly get rid of France. Because, everybody always expect like a revolution, everybody to fight for freedom. At the same time, no, these things are usually hard work and it's slow, painful process, right? So it will mostly happen country by country by country. So it starts with a popular uprising, let's say in Chad, then smart leaders will see the trend and they'll follow the people. If they don't listen to what the people will say, things will end up like in Mali, things will end up like in Burkina Faso, right? Like I'm never pro-coup, but like it's just the result of not listening to the popular opinion, right? If people say we're tired with this,
I failed to mention, during even this case, the government tear gassed the protesters. So
So then there's some smart leaders who just jump on the bandwagon, right? Because they go like, oh man, I saw what happened to my neighbor. If I don't raise up and start following what is needed of me, I'll end up the same, right? And and he like Reggae is young. He wants to start building up his power, his personality. So he has to. He has no choice. He's not one of the old school stubborn leaders who've been in power and they don't care what the people say. He's young. I'm sure he's got a team of people who check out current trends, what is the mood and feeling in the country, right? I'm sure he's got a young team around. Yeah, so he's kind of smart. So lucky for him, right? But also like when it comes to Chad and the Chadian leadership, it's always been like Chad, like the father of Idris,
Yeah.
has always historically been extremely close to France, right? And even the way you're saying his death was very mysterious, as if like it was a deal gone wrong, and it just had to be replaced, like in a workplace, like. It wasn't working out. We'll go with the younger guy. So like that's the only thing I can say about that. Because yeah, but his death was very random, and yeah, like I think it was a stray bullet that hit him when he was checking out soldiers in the front line, right? Like he wasn't even in active combat.
That's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah. Then a stray bullet just hit him, right? Like a lucky shot from kilometers away, which is as we
Yeah.
very coincidental, right?
Yep. And yeah, as you mentioned, if they're smart, they will know what's best for them. But unfortunately, I think they gas them up. My assumption is like they tell them we're behind you. Even in the case of Ethiopia, the rebel group, even though they're small in number, they were so confident and they felt mighty because you see the way they're like, we'll give you guns, we'll do this, we'll give you all this money. You feel like you can conquer anybody, right? So in that moment, I don't think the governments really think long term. They're like, okay, this France is behind me. What are these hundreds of youth? What are they going to do? But they're mistaken. Like they are living in a country which majority of the people are the people they're supposed to serve. If they get up and say no, and we've seen the coups that are like going around in the West. So I think if they're smart, as you said, they should really, really be careful. But at the same time, I think it's a blessing in disguise, because if they're really, if they're saying, okay, not a lot of people will feel that urge and fire. When somebody tries to put you down, there's something that comes out of it, like a power within you just tap into, and then you want to move forward and actually bring change. So maybe it's not so bad, and their heart is being hardened because it's time for them to leave power.
And when it's not genuine, the people will eventually know. You can only play along for a while, right? If he does that, then the next meeting is with Macron shaking hands and nothing. It'll be so disingenuous, right? Yeah. So something about Chad and France. Like Chad has been a cash cow for France for like decades, right? So France does not produce any gold, right? It's among the countries that has the largest gold reserves, right? Chad is and was among the countries in the world that produces the most gold, right? It has 0 gold reserves. So the question is, where is all that going? If the country that has 0 gold has all this gold, and the country that is supposed to have the natural gold has 0 gold, yeah, you see why Chad is important.
It's going to Mama France.
Yes, yeah. So that's something sad about Chad. They've due to exploitation, they've almost finished out the Lake Chad, which was among the largest lakes on the continent. It's almost completely being wiped out. So yeah, so Chad has a tough journey ahead of it before it sees good things coming its way.
It looks like the youth, like this is the first step, right? Like knowing what's going on, your eyes being opened, and you're like, what? This is the kind of matrix I've been living in. So in a way, as I said, it's a blessing in disguise, because like the more thirsty they get for power, the more they wake our people up. So maybe, it's for the greater good.
Definitely. So let's like we'll follow this up, and we'll see how far it goes. But that's how it started in Mali. The protest. Then there's a coup. Then there's a regime that is actually really saying what the people said, right? So let's see. Maybe like this is a first step. Okay. So for our segment, we'll do Africa Reacts, and I like when I don't show Wongel what she's going to be reacting to. So we just see reactions.
Okay.
So this week we did this video of something really, like, is it shocking? Is it outrageous? Is it truthful? Is it funny? So Wongel will tell us will tell us what it is. Okay, so just bear with me when I get the video. I should be really planning these things ahead of time, right? So let's see, almost. Just bear with me, guys. Okay. Okay. So let me start it. You can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Yes.
so.
In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political opponents are imprisoned or otherwise eliminated from participating in the electoral process. The result is an absence of checks and balances in Russia and the decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. Iraq, anyway. 75. In contrast, Russian elections are rigged. Political.
Okay,
so who was he talking about? Himself or Putin? That was a beautiful, beautiful slip up. I don't even know if it's slip up. It's like God punishing him for what he did. Like what? And he's saying 75. Is he blaming it on age? 75 is not old. Maybe it's his conscience, like creeping in. He is ridiculous. This guy. Like there's a compilation of like him messing up, and I'm not surprised. But like he said, Iraq.
So basically, he just said the truth, right?
He did say the truth, to be honest.
Yeah, he was
but that's
trying
what he wanted to say.
He was trying to gaslight Putin, but he ended up just telling the reality of what he did, right? Unjustifiably, one man invaded, like a country that had nothing to do with the things they said they did, and see what happened. He gets away with it. He's given honors. He has an institute. He's loved, right?
Wow.
But when another person does the exact same thing, right? Just a mirror, right? It's like devil. So that's the double standard the type of world that we live in.
Yeah, but this is not even like just double standards. Like he literally, like from all the places, you can't tell me like Iraq and Ukraine has like a similar, you can't mess those two up. Like he didn't forget. I feel like there's something at the back of his head that's just like.
They don't even sound similar, like Iraq. Like Ukraine, like they're so different.
Iraq, because they say Iraq, Ukraine. Yeah. He messed
like for me,
right away.
Like for me, I think some people end up doing things that later on they regret and they have guilt, and guilt a way of coming out, right? Like even if he knows, like of course he knows what he did was war crimes, he got away with it, right? But that like there's this famous saying, like which means like just because you're not guilty, right? It does not mean you're innocent. You can go to court, they find you're not guilty, right? But that doesn't. That's why the judge says you're innocent. A judge always says you're not guilty because the evidence has not proven that you did the crime, right? So that doesn't mean you're innocent. Just because he's not in a jail, he does not have charges for war crimes, crimes against humanity, it doesn't mean he's innocent, right? And his conscience is just bringing the guilt up, and so let's say he's just 75, and it's hard to handle the truth when you're 75.
75 is not that old. It really is not. And Obama did the same, right? He apologized for what he did
for Libya.
Yeah, but this one never apologized. Has he?
Never.
Yeah, maybe it's time for him to apologize, because this is it's like you're getting married and then you say your ex's name. Like that kind of.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah, like it's like you're carrying that.
Like if you're the bride, you should really think twice about going ahead.
Yeah, so hey, this is embarrassing for him. I'm sure he's embarrassed.
But like you know, if you can murder women and children, and like I really don't think
Yeah.
like you can go low enough. You know
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's beyond redemption.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the story. Yeah, so the next reaction for the other week will even be more crazier, right? Yeah, like I
Okay.
think it will be Biden saying
Oh
he's
my God.
like he's an
Biden
alien or
has
something, right?
he has so many videos of him just being
Yeah,
a creep. Have you seen them smelling women's hair? Have you children
yeah.
touching? Oh, he's the
And
creepiest. I mean,
but like my favorite is the one who's he's imaginary talking to people.
check it.
Yeah, so
And then have
yeah,
you
so
seen the one with Obama? Everybody surrounding Obama, and he's
yeah,
trying to
yes,
talk to
yes.
everyone. And that part, I've never felt sorry for him before, but that part it made me feel like I don't think he's okay, and I think this is medical, so I don't even want to laugh. I felt guilty for laughing.
Okay, so let's go to your second topic.
Ooh, okay. Since we're already in, we talked about France and Chad. We might as well finish it up there. Like, there has been a report from Mali, and they are blaming the Western nation for a failed coup. So what they have, what they are saying is that there was an attempted coup, and they said there's a Western nation behind it, but they haven't named like anybody yet. They just said Western. So we still have to wait for their like clarification on who it is. And obviously, we saw this coming. They said they've arrested European descent soldiers or people when there was an assassination. They said they have caught France flying a drone when they're not supposed to. Like we have seen how this escalated from Mali saying, get out of my country, France catching feelings, France accusing Mali of hiring Russian mercenaries. It just got worse and worse and worse and worse. And France is now trying to investigate the Mali. What was it? They found people dead, so they're saying they want the UN Security Council to investigate it. Hence, AKA, I want you to put sanctions on Mali. So yeah, so this has escalated a lot, quite a bit, and them saying Western nations, I wouldn't be surprised if it is France, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a US involvement as well, the whole entire EU. So that's next. I thought we talk about this since we've already mentioned France.
Yeah. So technically, Mali is independent of France, and France are freaking out because it's just one of many. So Mali, Burkina Faso is going the same way. Guinea is going the same way. Next, once Cameroon starts getting there, just know the hegemony in France is just going to fall. So they are really scared. If they lose their bread and butter, how will they feed their people? And there's something you really don't know about France is that the French government fear the French citizens, because French citizens don't claim, right? When something like they don't have enough like resources, when they don't have there's something wrong in the country, transport. Have you seen the protests in France? Like those guys go all out, right? Like I think
something jackets. What are they called? Something
jackets. Yellow jackets. Yeah. Like those guys go all out, and the French government is scared of them. Like they'd rather cause a war to appease them, right? Because most of these countries, like in the United States, the ones that interfere, they try to steal resources to appease their people, right? Most of these countries do this because they fear their people. Because, like in America, the government fears their people. And in America it's worse because more than 50% of those people have guns. So, like, think about it. If those people just decided, like, for a revolution or fight against the government, it's going to be very hard for the American military to squash that kind of dissent. So these governments can do anything to appease the people. They can do anything to get the resources. They can do anything to get the oil, anything to get the control, right? So that's why these days they're more aggressive. They're not subtle, but then they were doing things subtly, through diplomacy, tricking people, bribing. But these days they're sending militaries, right? Even in our next story, we're going to talk about the United States sending its troops once again back to Somalia, right? So like one thing, people who, like, especially Africans who do, like, wonder why these governments, right, these Western governments are so keen on interfering with Africa, so keen on stealing with Africa, right? It's all due to fear. Like, not greed. Most people think they want everything for themselves, world power. No, they're afraid of their citizens. And once, like a good example of using that is France. When things just go wrong, maybe there's a union strike, the workers are not being paid, the whole country comes to a standstill, right? And you see, it's happened so many times. So the way things are going, France is just going to have another renaissance. They're just going to clean out the kind of leadership they have before they did, and restructured everything. And that's why Macron is really scared of his people, and he'll do anything to appease them. Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, though, right? Like, the government should fear the people, because they're the majority. They're the ones that you're there to serve. They're the ones that you are there. That's not how it is usually, especially in Africa. It's like, if somebody is in government, it could be like the smallest position. They act like now they are superior than you, and you should fear them with their Land Cruiser V8, whatever. But it should be the other way around. You should be like, yes sir, yes ma'am, what can I do? Like, I'm here to serve. That's how it should be.
Yeah, like, it should be coordination and grassroots organizations. Groups like that make things happen, like make politicians, hold politicians accountable, like make those guys to actually do their work, not because they want to do their work, because they have to do their work, right? Yeah, so if there's a portal, you don't have certain services, right? It's not false promises. It's either you do it or
somebody else will come and do it.
Yeah. So definitely right. Africans also need to start, holding these guys in power to like a higher standard, and telling them exactly what to do. Not hoping for the best.
There are so many elections coming up. So many of them in Africa. This is the time to move.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think you should go.
Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. The United States, Joe Biden has made an announcement this week that he's going to redeploy his military back to Somalia. If you remember, Donald Trump, the last thing he did was remove also military personnel who are not in the United States back to the country. So this is the reason, the silly excuse that they gave why they're redeploying the military back to Somalia, not to protect Somali lives or anything. They were like, Al-Shabaab is an imminent, I don't think it's imminent, it's a threat to
Al-Qaeda
like the United States, right? So look where Somalia is. Like, they're facing different sides. How will an Al-Shabaab terrorist go cross all the way to the United States, right? So for me, this is my personal opinion and personal theory. Somalia is being used as a staging point for Ethiopia, right? The United States has still not let Ethiopia go. They still want to cause more damage there. They still want to interfere, and they need a staging ground, because this week there are these rights groups that they were like, oh, we need intervention in Ethiopia. We need to bring in United States peacekeepers, EU peacekeepers. Like, so they were like that. So they want to be there. Like, they call them in the military terms, they call them staging posts, right? So if the United Nations say, like, we need peacekeepers, the United States can be like, oh, we're already here. Like when these things are handed over, that's why they're Kenyan, Ugandan peacekeepers in Somalia, right? Because the UN goes like, who are the closest military that are willing to give out soldiers to help in this case, right? That's why in India, Congo, they're Rwandese peacekeepers, right? Because it's mostly the closest country. So by the United States being closed, they're like, oh, we already have a base, we've got everything here. We might as well go to Ethiopia and help with the peace. So for me, I think that's the main reason why they're going back to Somalia. Not because they care about any Somali person, even one bit.
That's interesting because I didn't think of it that way at all. For me, it was like the day he announced there was an election, right? Or 2 days after the election.
Like a new president, yeah.
Yes, the new president. I believe Mohamud, that's his name.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, wait a minute. So for me, I was like, it has to be this election that triggered this movement because.
Not triggered, more like they were waiting for it, because Formaggio was a very
yes,
Ahmed.
People loved Formaggio.
Yeah, and Formaggio also loved Idi Ahmed. They were very close allies, right? There were even like talks about like combining, like creating Ethiopia, Somalia, and Eritrea to be its own like regional, like how the East African community they've done. Yeah, to like kind of like that, create like a regional board, right? Yeah. So,
yeah. Do you hear it?
Yeah.
It's coming from like behind. I can mute my mic. That's
Yeah. So once like Formaggio lost the election, what's the first thing that happened? Like they returned the guys, because there was no way Formaggio was going to let United States military back in Somalia. So, and that's why there was so much trouble. Like you remember him with the prime minister, each trying to oversee the other one. It was all pressure from the United States, and they've made sure that he's not the president, because Somalia's parliament is the one that elects the president, right? And one thing that you might not know about the Somali president, parliament, 50% of, I think it's 50%, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anybody from Somalia who's watching me, 50% of parliamentarians in Somalia have dual citizenship with the United States, right? Yeah, so much. Even Formaggio was also a United States citizen. So so many Somali people went into refuge during the conflicts that they had. So many people in politics have dual citizenship, families in the United States. So having that, it's a liability when it comes to things like voting, because you vote. Like it's easy to sway your vote, right? So if the United States really wanted this guy to replace Formaggio, I'm sure it wasn't that much lobbying, right? They call it lobbying. Yeah.
That's interesting. Let me quickly talk. The sound is still there, and then you'll give me an answer. I thought, because this is his second time being elected, right? This specific president, this is his second time. He was a few years ago. So my question to you is, people, how are, I haven't talked to people on the ground, how are Somalians feeling about this? They didn't want him because Formaggio congratulating him, saying that my brother and stuff, I thought it was a good move for Somalia. I want you to give me that answer because I'm clueless on that.
Formaggio is a gentleman, right? Even I was reading an article about him. So Formaggio doesn't have a house in Somalia. He was a president. He doesn't have property in Somalia, right? Even after he lost the election, he was like, oh man, I'm going to have to find a place to rent. Because, he's living in the state house. He doesn't even have a home. Because he wasn't that type of president where I'm here, I'm taking, this is mine, this is mine. So he's a gentleman, he lost the election, right? He was like, okay, I've lost the election. But that guy, the previous one, I've not done so much research on him, but I really have a feeling he's more of the yes sir kind of president. Like the type of leader that the United States wants Ethiopia to have. So I think they've succeeded in Somalia with this new president, and now it's just Ethiopia left, and then they'll control the Horn completely.
Okay, one last one on the Somalia case. So you think the election is rigged? How do you think he won? Like, you don't think the people voted for him?
No, Somalia elections don't work like that. The people vote for the MPs, and the MPs vote for the president. So it's not the people who voted for him. It's the parliament that voted for. That's what I'm saying. 50% of that parliament have dual citizenship with the United States, and it's easy to sway somebody if he lives in your house, right? So yes, so like that, no, and all this is my opinion. So if there's somebody from Somalia who knows better than me, your local politics, you can tell me. But I'm sure it's the parliament that votes in the president. It's not a direct vote from the people.
That's sad.
Yeah. So, but let's see what this guy has to say. He's just been in president for a few days. Let's not maybe he's got like a secret plan where he'll surprise everybody, right? Yeah, but so far I think it's a bad start. Immediately you're president, you sign because the president must allow the for it to work. The president must have invited the US military. It's like, oh, we're having trouble with Al-Shabaab, we need your help. Then Biden is like, oh, we have to deploy our military because we have intelligence that they are a threat to us. So yeah, I think that's how it works. So but I say we'll just give the guy a chance. Let's see how it will affect the region now that US is back in the Horn of Africa, and still they're really pressuring Ethiopia to you remember the normal movement, the amount of pressure and bad press Ethiopia was getting. It's starting all over again. There are new human rights report, insanely inaccurate articles from these Western media organizations like The Guardian, where they're downplaying things that the TPLF did, right? Because even recently, there was a news that the TPLF was recruiting child soldiers, going to their houses, forcing them, telling their parents they'll go to jail or they'll pay a fine if they don't let their kids go. And this comes directly from captured TPLF soldiers. So it's not so this is the thing, right? The people who are reporting on the Ethiopia side, they're actually witnesses and actually saying what's happening. But the people who are reporting from the TPLF to these Western media news organizations, they're phone calls, right? So somebody, you can be anywhere for all you know. You just say this guys did this and this and this, and these media news organizations don't verify. They just take people's word at it. These ones are like eyewitness testimonials. They've been like, hey, this is what's happening in Tigray. This is what's happening. And the excuse of the TPLF spokesperson was like, oh, there were some rogue elements in our ranks that were doing this behind our backs, right? That the evidence is too much. They can't deny. They just have to blame. We didn't know what was going on. Like that's the only excuse, right? Which I'm sure things like that are from the top. They're like, hey, we're losing soldiers. We're losing this war. We need more soldiers. What can we do? Force these kids to go fight. So that's what I'm really getting worried. They're starting to pile the pressure on Ethiopia, right? Again, it's starting all over again, right? Because the thing is when there's an attack, like a media attack in Ethiopia, people fight back. Then there's a lull, right? Then people think, oh yeah, the normal movement achieved its goal. They've stopped trying to interfere in Ethiopia, but no, it's starting all over again, right? And they wait for this, for people to be, it's called distracted or lose interest, because with the internet, things trend for a while, then they disappear. Yeah, but so now that's why we are here to keep following these things up, keep updating you guys on the Ethiopia issue. And I still think the United States military being redeployed in Somalia has nothing to do with Al-Shabaab. It has everything to do with Ethiopia, and trying to find a way to still interfere in that country. Can you
I'm afraid I'll distract you guys because the thingy is still going on.
It's finished.
I don't want it. I know it's not. Listen, it's still there.
No. It's
not too bad.
less. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's not
thank
so
God,
bad.
thank God, because like I was trying to protect the ears of our audience. Yeah, but you brought a good point. I was not even looking at it that way, and this means that we have a lot of work now going forward, because I also felt like the pressure is less now and they've just let go of Ethiopia because like they're tired of the fighting. But obviously I should have known better. Obviously they're not going to stop. They're going to slowly creep in when you least expect it. So that would mean that since the mainstream media and a lot of people will not cover it, and they'll have magnified voice, we have to try our best to, the same way the No More movement achieved a lot, we should start now regrouping and making sure that we start speaking facts and making sure that we give our voice to our people. It's really like you told me that and my mind was like, not again. Like I went back to that time now.
But credit also to the normal movement. They are also adapting. So now they've got this one called Break the Silence.
Mm-hmm.
So break the silence. Yeah. So at least like those guys are keeping up and they're following up these stories. But it's getting crazier. They're trying to pass laws that will add more sanctions to Ethiopia. They're trying to pass, like, say that Ethiopia is not taking aid to Tigray. Like, I don't know, like only 3 tracks.
Let me tell you about that. They've been taking aid, but did you hear about the story? The mothers being asked, they were saying they won't give us the aid that was given unless we give one soldier, like from our family members. We have to give one kid. If we're not giving a kid, one, we're arrested. 2, we're not given aid. Like they have to show that they have given a family member to go to war. And the mainstream media, they don't even pick this. Like it's just so sad how evil they can be. Like it's so sad.
Yeah, and these are like eyewitness reports. Then all of a sudden there's
the mother is like being interviewed.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the ones that hit the mainstream media are the phone interviews that the people just claiming random things that like they had to verify. And there's one in Gondar that they were saying they found like a mass grave. They like even the university was like, there's nothing like this. I'm here. I'm not seeing anything. So.
And let me ask you something, Michael. How in which world does a journalist go or call up a rebel group to get their information as a source? In which world? In which world, Michael?
Like I can imagine, I can imagine a New York Times journalist calling the Osama bin Laden. Oh yeah, so what were you thinking when you blew up those buildings?
And he takes his word for it. Where's this? He takes his word and say, look at what's going on in Ethiopia. Oh my God, it just does not make sense at all. Which makes it clear that there's a clear agenda, and we're gonna fight it.
And the pressure is piling up again, so we really have to be vigilant and follow this up.
I've opened my eyes now.
Okay, so next is on your side. The sound has gone.
Oh,
I can just a little, so it's
you can hear it. I muted or I talk.
No. Yeah, you can talk. It's so little now. It's better.
Okay. Well, I have only one left, so I would let you go with the Uganda story because I'm really interested to hear about that. By the way.
So we recently did a speech of Museveni, the president of Uganda, that he like this is back then, where he was saying that solar power is good, wind power is good, and hydroelectric power is good, but the amount of electricity that Africa needs cannot all be satisfied with all those. So that's why he was insisting on nuclear power, and he made a deal with Russia to start training students, right, and start like building the capacity to create nuclear power plants in Uganda. So those kids have gone, they've learned something, and now they're actually starting to the process of building nuclear power plants in Africa, which makes sense. Then, like in that video, like people are commenting, oh, instead of building expensive things like nuclear power plant, like why don't you feed your people? Your people are starving. And like my reply to that is that the United States, Europe can feed everybody, or like they can provide the things they provide to their people because they've got enough energy, and majority of that energy, more than 50%, comes from nuclear power, right? So you cannot feed your people if you don't have enough fuel to take the food to people. You do not have enough electricity to build up capacity, right? So it's like you can't do one without the other, and you need energy is the most important thing. That's why fire is one of the most important inventions. Fire is just energy. Nuclear energy, like nuclear power plants, is just like fire. It helps you cook your food. It helps you move things, right? It helps you like provide things like irrigation. It helps you light up the universities, the schools, so your economy can be a 24-hour economy, right? So if there's not enough electricity, countries like South Africa, right? Sorry, the only other African country that has nuclear power is South Africa. There's one nuclear plant in South Africa still working, right? But still in South Africa, like when you think South Africa these days, what do you think of? Like load shedding, like power cuts and unreliable power throughout the country, right? So Africa, like it's good to have sustainable energy, right? Like it's a good future-proof plan going forward, right? But for now, especially the point where Africa is, where we are in our development, we need to shoot directly up, right? China was built with nuclear energy, with hydroelectric power and nuclear energy. That's why China's economy just went from nothing to, like 100 within like a span of like less than a decade. So for Africa to achieve that, we need to get more reliable power. Like I think only 20% of Africa currently, if my stats are not wrong, has reliable electricity. 20% in a continent of 1.4, 1.5 even now billion people, right? So you cannot let the 20% to build a whole continent. We need the whole 100 to be able to carry on. And of course, Pauline is like saying nuclear threatens me. Yeah. So like with everything, with great power, there's this saying: with great power comes great responsibility, right? So nuclear power, like you need to treat it like a baby. If anything goes wrong, you can be Chernobyl in Ukraine. You can be what's the one that in Japan? The Fukushima nuclear disaster that happened in Japan, right? So things need to be done, right? So that's why Uganda is smart. It's partnering with a country that has hacked this nuclear energy, Russia, right? Like Russia is among the top nuclear technologies. It's usually like I think Russia, France, the United States, and Germany. Those are the countries that really build up this nuclear. They've got the ability to do it. And I think Russia has signed MOUs with 16 African countries for future planned nuclear power plants. So going forward, these projects are expensive. Like a nuclear power plant costs between 50 billion to 100 billion US dollars. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap money. But those are long-term goals. And I think for Africa to grow the way every African wants it to grow, right? To shoot up, to emulate China, to be low-income continent, to superpower, like super economic power. We need nuclear energy, and we have to be smart about it. You be cost effective and also be safe, because nuclear power, as we all know, it's no joke. It can make a whole city, a whole region uninhabitable for like 3,000 years. So we need to do things right, partner with the right people who are in it for our benefit, not just people who are in it for the money, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's like on the Uganda thing. So the process is actually starting. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I hope you can manage with your last one, like with your last topic.
Yeah, before that though, I
Yeah.
wanted, because my last topic is a bit light,
Mhm.
I want to make sure that you finished yours, as well as I want us to address what happened in the US, the Buffalo shooting.
Yes, yes.
A white supremacist literally targeted Black people, and a lot of people lost their lives then. So we want to also address that because the diaspora community is also part of Africa. Those are our brothers and sisters, and we were really, really saddened, and it was just sad to see that in this day and age, like a massacre can happen, and it's just sad just to think what kind of environment they have to live in, and I just wanted to pay my respect in that regard.
Yeah, yeah, and it's quite sad that, as you said, till now, like you're not safe being African American in the United States, where that killer got better treatment than basic African American just walking in the streets of America, right? They gently escorted him to the car, while an innocent man is choked to death, right? Well, everybody watches. So that just goes to show you, you live in a country where everybody who like everybody is just like that. It's just that that person went one step further and just said, "Hey, I'm going to kill you people. I'm going to stop hitting you in secret. I'm just going to kill you." So that's the country. Like America is. It's just a white supremacist country, and eventually these flare-ups are just people who, instead of keeping their, using their inside voice, inside racism, like it just spills over, right? So like you can imagine how many such ticking time bombs are there in the United States, right? These people are filled with hate, racism. They just want to eradicate African Americans, like any immigrants, right? Like it's just a matter of time because that guy had more, like he looked for a place where the African Americans, he wanted only to kill African Americans, right? And people are like, oh, is the shock, like, oh, he was crazy. No, 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 no. Oh, like so many, like he's not alone. I think this is factual. There are millions of white supremacist Americans like that in the United States. It's just that him, like it spilled out. He couldn't hold the hate so long, and the more the hate keeps adding, the more things like that will keep popping up. So Africans Americans should be safe in general, right? Take care of your brother and sister, and like I don't have any like advice for you guys because you have to live in America to know what you're going through. So the only thing we can do is like wish you guys stay safe and condolences to everybody who lost their lives. Like, and I said, the struggle still continues. Don't think you guys have gotten your independence or freedom yet. You're still fighting for it. So don't relax, right? Yeah. Oh yeah, as Charlie Gambino says, yeah, don't let them catch you sleeping, because right? Yeah. So that's my take on that.
Okay, so you are done on your side?
Yeah, yeah, yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so the last one is a light one. I hope you can hear me. I can hear it.
Yeah,
So it's like
I can.
anxiety, like, oh my God, can you hear me? Okay. So this news comes from South Africa, and there was this funeral, and this lady lost her father. You can clearly see. I wish we had the picture for them. It was on TikTok actually. So this man, her boyfriend, decided to propose to her in the funeral while she's crying because she lost her father, and in front of the coffin, like she's sitting in front, the coffin is right there, and he's proposing to her, and she's crying because her dad is laying right there, and she still left the ring on, so people think that she said yes. And the weird part for me was, like, I know I said it's light. It is light in a way because we're not gonna talk about politics and stuff, but still, I was like, that's a funeral. That chick already is really sad, devastated. She lost her dad. Why do you need to propose to her in front of her dead dad? And a lot of people on social media, after it went viral, he's the one that posted it on TikTok. I don't know why. So people were saying, like, this is manipulation. You knew she was distressed and you decided to propose to her there. What kind of selfish person are you? And blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I agree with them. But I also was thinking, and I'm like, what if he knew, like, she would have wanted her dad to say yes to the proposal? And you know how in certain cultures you have to go to their dads first. At least in Ethiopia, for example, there are elders you need to address. You send your elders, they say yes or no, and then it's a process. You first have to ask for her parents, approval. So maybe he's like, since her dad is dead and she can't get that, this is the closest I can get to her dad being there in an open casket, and it's like it's like an experience where the dad is there and he's not left out of this marriage. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but a lot of people were not impressed and they were pissed and they were dragging him, one for doing it, two for posting it. What are your thoughts on this?
So for me, I think this is like, it's a trend that I've seen going on, where like men try to ambush women in public areas to coerce them to accept proposals, right? And like for me, I think like asking somebody to marry you, it's something personal. Like the world like doesn't need to see it. Like maybe you can do it somewhere private and share the video if you want to share it with friends and family. But going in like a mall or somewhere public where the girl is supposed to say yes because, you know, social norms, like I think that's like a form of manipulation, and like you're just forcing the issue, right? So and then your take where you wanted to do it the traditional way. So in African culture, if somebody has lost the dad, there are hierarchies, like the eldest brother, like he could still have gone to do it through the traditional way, where the eldest brother now takes charge of the girl, where they go talk dowry stuff with him, and everything will have been done right? There are things to account for, you know, events of death and stuff. So this guy, like I think he just, as you said, the girl was distracted. She was not in the right mind. She's sad. Like when you're grieving, you just want comfort, right? And the guy took advantage and just went for it, which I say it's like if you're hacking the system, if you're trying to game to trick somebody to marry you, like I really don't think you've earned that right to marry them. Like they should be, you like you know, calling. She should have been calling her friends. Man, this girl of mine is not proposing. We've been, like, you know, it should be the other way around, right? Yeah, not the guy forcing. Like it should, you know, it should be mutual, where the person who wants to be proposed to is waiting, and the person who wants to propose to is eager, right? But not the other way. Not one using friends and family to coerce a guy to propose, and the other way, using friends and family to coerce a woman to say yes. So for me, I think for him it's an absolute no. He failed the assignment.
I agree, and Linda said, "Run, girl, run." I definitely agree. I just tried to give him the benefit of the doubt because it was so bizarre, like to the point where I'm like, maybe there's a deep reason. Why would anybody do this? That's what I was trying to think of ways, but yeah, that was whack. And yeah.
But then, you know, also like giving alternative opinions, right? So, but you know, we live in the world of social media, so maybe it was just a publicity stunt. You know, it's like, hey, let's go viral, and yeah. So, like, you know, with the internet these days, you never know. Yeah. So, yeah, but
yeah, and you're right. Yeah. There's a way, even if it's tradition, you made a good point. There's a way to go about it. If the dad is absent, there's an elder brother or uncles. If they're not there, you go to the mother. Like, there are steps, and he definitely, I don't know, I think he wanted to shine in that moment and money, because he had a cameraman there ready. He posted it on TikTok as well. So yeah, I think we are.
But then like think about it. How low is somebody's self-esteem that they have to steal the thunder of somebody who's dead? You know, so yeah, that's not like for me, regardless of the reason. If it was for social media likes, fail. If it was to outstage the dead dad, fail. If it was to marry that woman, fail. So he gets 3 fails in a row.
Oh well, I hope she runs and she saves herself from this kind of lifestyle. You know, because I remember last 2 weeks of, was it a month? You guys have Kenyans have like this influencers called the What Jesus, the What
Oh
Jesus,
yeah.
something like that, and they literally filmed the whole birthing process, and people were like, "What's wrong with you?" Like they showed the baby coming out. Like I get it, some people share. By the way, I'm not mad at that, but like you have to like hold some things to yourself. I get that's their job. They're influencers. They're supposed to share their lives. I get it. But like at least like just show us the baby out. Like don't show us the whole. Like it's just a bit some things you have to keep private. You know, if this guy's God forbid break up or divorce,
And you know,
I wish
you know,
it went.
like let me scare everybody today. Today everybody has been really good and very positive on the chat. So let me ruin your day and scare the hell out of everybody. So like you see these trends, right, of people oversharing, posting everything, right? Technically, we haven't yet reached the information age. We are still in the industrial age. We are going to the information age, meaning whatever is happening now, right, to our generation where people share everything, they post everything, you know, private things, like you can't trust anything online, so much fake news. Like, so think about it, we've not yet started the information age. So there's like this theory where the information age will be that times like a million, where everything will be shared. Like your whole, the camera following you, posting your everything. If you fight with somebody, like you're going, so it's like everybody will have kind of like a rating system. You know, in Airbnbs, in like in websites where there's a 5-star system, everybody will have one, like with algorithm and AI. So like if you go to a shop and have a ugly interaction with somebody, your social profile will go down, and everybody around you will be able to see, because there'll be that much information sharing, right? So everybody will
But
be
you never get to that point.
Yeah. That's called the information.
I say not. I don't like that at all. I don't even like it when Uber drivers rate me. Like I don't like it.
Like exactly. So now we are like now like when you are like 90, you don't tell you like your kids, oh, I remember the days where only a bad Uber score would determine your day. I'm telling you that you'd be rated everything, like your education, and they tell you the scary thing, like, you know, it's already happening in China, right? So every Chinese citizen has like a profile with the government, right? And they've got like a rank. So if you smoke cigarettes, you are ranked lower than somebody who doesn't smoke cigarettes. If you drink, you're ranked lower. If you've got a criminal record, if you have traffic tickets.
What's the point of that? What's the point?
To make
For what?
citizens.
Like, what's the reason?
Yeah. Oh, so these points when you're going to a bank to get a loan, or when you're going to get a visa to go outside the country, based on your points, right? Like it determines how you're being treated by the government, and it's all automated. And China has so many CCTVs. So in China, if you go to church, also you are low. Like you know, China is a communist country, right? So if you're religious, you're ranked lower. So, and they've got cameras all over. They even started recently I saw there was a documentary where they're starting to put cameras in private churches. The Chinese government, the CCTVs, right? So they see everything. So like even in China, it will reach a point where they'll not even need police, like street police, because the eyes see you. Like if you do something wrong, the system automatically punishes you until you're useless. Like you can't get loans.
I don't like that.
Like you can't get insurance. So it's already happening in China, and China is starting to export the technology. Like also, it's also happening in the UK. The United Kingdom is the most CCTV'd country in the world, right? Yeah. So yes, yeah. So there's like everything that you do will be seen and will be shared, and everybody you come near will be able to share it. So let me give you a good example of how your phone always tracks you, right? So like, have you ever wondered why when you talk about things like maybe baby diapers, the next
Or the
time.
target marketing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you get an ad.
yeah. So this is how these phones are these days are so intelligent. They don't even need to listen to you. So when you go to a supermarket, right? Let's say Naivas, right? Like you just go to supermarket, then you're just going there near the diaper section, and you stand there for a bit longer than you stand in other areas. Your phone, your GPS will tell your phone that you are interested in that aisle. And these days they've started.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Then that
like
information.
with this phone, no. This is
Yeah.
happening.
No. That's how they track you, because people always go like, oh, they're listening to me. Like it's even more scarier than even listening or is dropping to your phone calls, right? Because and then like it even gets worse.
Because that means they know us better than we know ourselves. Like
Yes, yeah,
literally. That's
definitely.
scary.
So let's say like you've been saving up for a new TV, right? Every day you go to that aisle, you look like, who soon, right? Then when you go home, you just find 50% on that TV. It's not by accident. It's like they know you've been looking at it. And now the scary part is there's also this other documentary that they were doing an experiment where one phone was completely not connected to the internet, right? And it still started getting profiled and ads based on that. Yeah, because they don't even use the internet; they use the towers. So this is it, right? Like you can be as foolproof. Like you've turned off all cookies. You've put do not track me. You put everything, right? But based on your friends, if one of your friends or people you just bump around has not done that, they'll still get information and use that information to still market to you. That's how scary it is. And then I'm saying all this, right? And we've not yet entered the information age. So now imagine when now we are full on the information age where everything you do is tracked, everything you do not do is tracked. Like people know everything about you, even more than yourself, right? Now let me give you a good a good example of how scary it is, right? So this happened in America. So there's this lady. She kept getting ads and emails for diapers from Amazon, right? Like she's an old lady, like she's in her 60s. Then she's like, hey, why are you guys spamming me with these emails? I don't want diapers. My kids are grown-ups, right? Yeah. So she kept getting until she called like customer care, like, hey, you guys, like this is ridiculous. Like, why are you sending me this thing? So guess what? Like, what was actually happening? The daughter was secretly pregnant, and she was like online looking for diapers. So with that information, like say it's meaning Amazon knows your daughter or your son more than you even know them, right? So this is the world that we're going to. We like us we're lucky. Our generation, we're lucky. We'll just test. We'll just test it, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying that as I have a delivery alert from Amazon. Yes.
You really got it?
Yeah, it just popped up.
Oh Lord. Oh God help us.
Yeah. So we live in a world where we've not yet even entered this age that we are testing, right? So imagine now our kids or our kids, what kind of life they'll be living in. And the sad part with this, there's no alternative, right? There's no running, as in it's like when they discovered metal, then somebody's like, hey, don't use this metal, it will cause so many wars, so many deaths. Don't use metal, it's a bad idea, right? Today our society can't work without metal, right? Yeah. So the same way with information technology, you can't go like, hey, we need to stop this tracking. We need to, get our individuality, our privacy back. No. You can't. Like once you like a good example, if you discover nuclear energy, nuclear technology, nuclear power, you can't be like, okay, guys, forget it, right? So once it's out of the box, it's out. So yeah. So everybody, next time you look at your phone, just know it knows you more than you know yourself or your family members, right?
Yeah, that's really scary. Like, yeah, you've really scared me. But I guess now I understand why last time you told me when I asked, like, you use Alexa, like she will spy on you, like they do with everything. I might as well,
Yes.
benefit from whatever service.
Yes,
I get it. I get it now.
the battle is already lost. There's no turning back. And with the development of AI and like improvement of internet speeds, like things like 5G, where you can like with 5G you can download a 20 GB movie within 1 minute, right? You know, just like, you know how much data it is. Like when like I think like when they went to space in 1963, right? When they're doing the space program, like all the information they had was in a floppy disk. A floppy disk has 3.14 megabytes, right? So think about it. Like if back then they had just that little and they could do that much. Now you, an individual, you've got all that data and all that power. So what do you think they'll do with it? Yeah. So just embrace it and learn. Like for me, I always say knowledge is like the best thing you can have, because if you know what's going on or what's coming, you'll be way better protected than to be shocked and scared. Like, oh, I didn't imagine they could ever do like this. You should be like, yeah, and I'm ready. Yeah. So.
I agree with you, and thank you for sharing this information. Because, like, yeah, I didn't know. I knew they, monitored us, or like they checked on the things that we Googled or listened to us, so that they, target us with whatever marketing that they please. But I did not know, literally, if I stood in front of an aisle, they'll know. Like, that's the creepiest thing I've heard so far.
And also, to make it worse, now most of these AI systems and detection systems are uber racist, super racist, because they're developing.
What?
Yeah, that's all. Like they always identify like people with darker skin more as criminals. Like even Google knows the
Oh my God!
Like there's this story. There's this Ethiopian engineer. She's like one of the brightest minds in general, like on the planet right now. I forget her name. She really has a hard Ethiopian name, something Gabrielson, something. She was a lead AI engineer at Google, and Google gave her the assignment to do a report on how the AI system is going. So she did a report saying these systems are super racist because they are mostly made by people who've got like a bias, right? So when she did this report, Google didn't want to own up to it, and she got fired, right? Like, no, wait. Google didn't want to publish the report that the AI system is racist. You remember there's this thing where if you search gorilla, an African man was popping up in Google search, right?
No, I didn't know.
Like if you put two pictures on Twitter, you put Obama, right? And now it always shows the white person in front. So her report was like, these things are super racist. Publish this. Google didn't want to publish it. Then they ended up firing her. I think they fired her because she ended up just publishing it individually, and they're like, hey, you're not supposed to publish our research without, as in they used that technicality to fire her, right?
Ooh, so I need to
just recently,
that story is interesting.
So just recently, Google owned up and said, "Oh yeah, our systems are racist. We'll try to be better and undo all the weird systems." Yeah. So
even after the information days come, we're still going to be racially discriminated against because of a racist programmed the machine. That's basically what you're telling.
Yeah. And AI is more efficient and ruthless than humans. So life would even be way worse for people who look like us. Getting jobs.
What?
Getting jobs. So, and this is why we did like a news report last month that Rwanda has opened up an AI institute. Senegal also has an AI institute. So we have to stop depending on Google. We have to start depending on these Western-made technologies. We have to start creating our own AIs, right? If their AI is racist, we can just use our own African AI. If the systems are racist, we can have our own unbiased system. So that's the only solution, because there's no stopping it.
Yeah, you're right. We might as well, win at their game. Like, we have to be we say we refuse to play in this game, at the end of the day, if that game is going to continue, we're going to be the ones losing. But at least if we learn, the rules and the ways to that game, we might have a chance of, fixing it, or at the very least, debunking it in a way,
Yeah, or like fighting back. Yeah.
Fighting back. Yeah.
So somebody saying we need our own satellites. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, but the AI Institute are run by big companies. Oh, like I didn't know about that, James. Oh man, maybe I hope it's not a Google Institute, the one in Rwanda that I'm praising. Yeah. But I'm thinking, no. I'm thinking it like it's a homegrown one now with the university. But anyway, like we'll look into it and we'll let you guys know, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, I think that's the topic for this week.
Yeah.
It's been a very dramatic week with just things happening, but yeah. So thank you guys for joining today's stream. We always appreciate you guys for taking your time to listen to us talk about about random things, but still concerning Africa. Like everything is always has to do with Africa.
Finish.
So that So do you have any announcements?
Me,
any
nothing.
Videos? Tell people maybe a few videos that you've done this week so that they can go to your channel and check them out.
You can come and check out my channel. Just go to YouTube, say Wengel Zelalem, WONGELZELALEM. So yeah, you'll find stories there that you might find interesting, because even me, I focus on Africa, diaspora, and just generally us. So check out my channel if you haven't already, and thank you for watching and being here. We really appreciate it. You are the ones that make this interesting and fun, because you're joining the conversation, and this is an open dialogue. It's not us talking at you, it's us talking to you, with you, so that we can figure this thing out. And what matters is all of us having a good intention for our Africa. That's all that matters, to be part of this community.
Yes, like I said, we really appreciate you guys. Because every day you take one hour, 30 minutes of your time just to listen to us, and we really appreciate you. Like that's so much time, right? So thank you so much for the support, and with that said, always remember, Africa is watching.
Yes. Stay blessed. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.